Well, thanks everyone for coming out tonight, fighting the LA traffic. I want to thank the Showbiz store for hosting us tonight. If you're watching this on the web and you've never been to a Showbiz store, they've got them in New York and Los Angeles. Definitely check it out. They've got all sorts of production software and kit, and it's a great place. You can have coffee, you talk to people in the business, and generally get nerdy and geeky and talk about production. So thank you for hosting us here tonight. Tonight we're going to be talking about something called cloud-based production. And we're going to show a real-world example of it from a TV show you may be familiar with. Now, just by way of introduction, my name's Mark. I'm a recovering talent agent. Come on, where's the hello, Mark? Yeah.
Hello, Mark.
Yeah, I began my career many moons ago at William Morris Agency. I've done a couple digital media startups since then, and tonight we're going to be talking about one of them, which is the latest startup, which is called Scenios, which we're really excited about. We're going to talk about. I'm going to talk about why we think the cloud is so important in terms of production and producing films and TV shows. Why we think it's really going to transform the world of production as we know it. The best way to actually describe cloud-based production is to show it. We're probably all visual people here, so that's what we're going to do in the first case, to show you what a cloud-based workflow looks like. With my partner, Jeff, one of the co-founders of Scenios. Jeff is the producer, hardest working man in show business right here. He's a producer, director, and editor of Inside the Actor Studio on Bravo. He's got a number of Emmy Awards for editing, and he's the chief evangelist for Scenios, and he's going to tell you the story of how he recently moved his TV show to a completely cloud-based workflow. So Jeff, you want to get us started?
Great. Thank you. Excellent. Thanks, Mark. Well, basically, Inside the Actor Studio. I've been working on that show for 17 seasons. We just about to finish up our 17th season. And this year we really had a major change in the way we move forward with our show. And what we experienced is we started out as a completely taped workflow. We used to have traditional mobile trucks, hard cameras, shooting on digital beta tapes, and delivering the show on tape. And in our 17th season that we just came into, we changed all that, and we now have a completely tapeless workflow. We shoot our show on the Sony EX3 formats, and we record the show entirely in ProRes, recording on the Aja Pro cards. And our show has now moved into a completely tapeless workflow, and the only time that we deliver our show is onto tape. It's the only time our show hits tape. And what this has really enabled us to do is to be a much more efficient workflow, working with in our editing rooms, and then also how we embraced Scenios into our workflow. As our producer and our executive producer, we've been able to move around our scripts, manage our budgets, become much more efficient in the way that we work, and how my production managers communicate to our cast and crew when we're out in production. And I'm going to walk you through a little bit about how we do this, and on showing you how we use our scripts, our budgets, call sheets, and all of our necessary information here. I'm going to walk you through here and take you to my project for Scenios and Inside the Actor Studio. I'm going to walk you through a show we just recently had done, Jim Carrey. So when you first come to Scenios and see how this works, is we like to keep this as clean as simple. And what this allows us to do is we create a project. And the first thing you saw my project's Jim Carrey. You could have multiple projects going on. And the first thing that happens is when you want to come and create a show is we want to put together our crew. And as you see in here is, besides our executive producer and stuff, is all the people that work on our show, and everybody's departmentalized in here. We have ways of going in. I can filter through and find all my camera guys that are working on a project, I can go in and dig down deeper, get information about them, about their rates and all their profiles and such, which really helps my production manager on a project, being able to communicate. What happens is when they send out notifications to our crew when we're about to start a show, is we can create messages and invite people to projects, and we can collaborate. This is what today's digital world is how do we collaborate with our crew and make our workflow a little bit more efficient. What we're trying to do with as you'll see in here is I can post messages to my production people, I can add comments to my team. When I send that out, that person's going to get an email notification or a text message, however we set up the project. So you're able to document your entire workflow inside of a project, but still communicating to people through their traditional emails and text messages, which is we found it to be very useful. And then when you get into things like our scripts, you can upload your screenwriters. We support all familiar formats like screenwriters, Final Draft, or just your regular Word document. And what happens is you can upload everything into this and maintain your project. If you wanted to be able to go in, you can download your application, and if you had like a screenwriter's application on your desktop, you'd be able to open that up. But we manage and support a lot of those programs. And one of the things here is a production schedule. You can see in here I can come in and create a complete production schedule for a particular show, make notations. So it's what's going to happen with this is this will get imported into your daily calendar on Facebook, or through Gmail. You can import this into your iMac and things like that. So it becomes a very practical way of us managing it and keeping a project and all the notes together. One of the things that I like about this is when production manager's putting together our team, you can come in here and see where we're going to be shooting. You can get notes, you can add locations, you can get directions. And one of the things that my show, for example, where we're normally shooting, but if we were going to be traveling and going around New York City, you can get directions from location to location. They can view it on their emails, on their iPhones, and eventually we'll be able to show you these things on your iPads, be able to have a complete paperless workflow. Now, getting down into the fun things of production is uploading your dailies and being able to see your videos. What happens is we come back and we can upload all of our camera masters into Scenios, and a low-res browse proxy video is created, and we can do things that are I'm creating. Here's your information on all of your video formats, and on the file format, the size of the frames, the video size. You can then, if you want to use this video, send it off to your selects, which we'll show you in a moment. Create tags, which all become searchable. If you want to add a tag to this, you can just come in, add a tag to any video, and that all becomes part of the searchable in the database. And one of the nice parts of this is shot logging. Our PAs can log a show, come in here, jump cut to any place in here. They can come in, play a video, mark in, mark out a shot, add a bunch of information, add a shot log, and at any given time jump back to any place on the proxy video of the logs created. You can get printouts from the shot log. I'll get a little bit of a slow internet connection here. And you can be able to share that information and be able to work virtually from anywhere. Let me close this out. And you have your selects, you have your rough cuts, so you can add your rough cuts are rough cuts, but obviously we've been moved off of out of roughs, and you got your final production of your show. Oh, also as you mouse over a video, you get a quick screenplay from here before you go into and expand on it and get a little bit more in depth. And what you're seeing here is an H.264 low-res browse copy, and that allows basically Macs and PCs to be able to work together and not having to get into Flash and things. This will all come in handy as you move into the iPad world.
First of all, we think you're going to start to hear a lot more about cloud-based workflows. This may be the first time you've heard about it or seen it, but we think you're going to start to see more of these types of tools in all sorts of different aspects of production. Also lower costs. So you've seen the pricing for Scenios for this technology, but all sorts of different technologies. We expect the prices to continue to go down, and so producers are again going to be able to do more with less in terms of productivity. And the last concept here is quote unquote the appification of production. So everybody of course is familiar with app stores on the Droid or the iPhone. What we think is a similar sort of thing is going to happen in the production environment, and I'll actually show you an example, just one example of what this looks like. So I'm going to go back into Scenios. Let's see here. And Jeff showed you before for his one of his episodes. I think it was in Final Cuts. If you click on one of these videos, what you'll see here, Jeff walked through some of these. But there are 3 more apps that we're developing, and just to give you a sense of the types of things that are possible in a cloud-based environment. First of all, transcription. So many of you may have the same pain in terms of getting getting your transcriptions done. You may have to burn a DVD with time code or get a tape and ship it hither and thither, and a few weeks later you may get it back. It may be typed in a spreadsheet, whatever it may be. But here, in this environment, since the video is already in the cloud, what you'll be able to do on Scenios is just click order transcription, and then 2 days later, the transcription shows up in the shot log, clickable. So again, it's not a spreadsheet. It's interactive and it's clickable, and the whole team can use it. And to give you some more context here, I think if you've ordered transcripts recently, you're probably paying in the range of $2 to $3 per minute, and that's pretty much standard that we're seeing, particularly in the U.S. But in this sort of environment, for example, the price is going to be $1 a minute. So again, using these new technologies to bring costs down. Another new app, so that's one app, cloud transcription that we're developing. Another one is transcoding. So let's say you need to get the piece of video into whatever different format it may be. You can select whatever format you need. In the case of Scenios, you can decide to transcode the entire clip or just one of the shots. And you hit transcode, and all the transcoding is done in the cloud. Another one is publishing. So Scenios is a pretty locked down environment. People who use it are generally pretty careful about the security of their content. Let's say you need to get a piece of video out to the outside world, as it were. In this case, initially we'll be supporting Vimeo and YouTube, and again you'll be able to publish the entire clip or just one of the shots and do all of this in the cloud. So these are just examples of the types of apps you can expect to see, and that's just from us. And you can expect to see a lot more people working in the space and developing cool new apps that sort of streamline the production process. So to conclude, just a couple points here. We've just shown you how a major show has completely transformed its workflow. After 16 years of working one way, in year 17 they completely shifted, and it's had profound impacts on the way they run their show and on the bottom line as well. And like I mentioned before, this has only recently been possible in the last year or two, I think, where these technologies have really become accessible and easy to use in a production environment. Like I mentioned, this will be seen in all different types of productions, and it's already starting to happen. People are already doing it, and so again, I think you'll start to see more and more of this over time. But I think the key takeaway here is that cloud-based workflows, we think, are a big deal. But get out there, try it out. The tools that are now, try Scenios, try other tools, check it out, and see if it works into your particular workflow.